Okay, let's talk about language. So the linguistic part of neuro-linguistic programming is the part that I think may be one of the most powerful areas that we can begin to make our change. Many of the women that I work with will use language like that. They'll tell me that they struggle to lose weight, that they find it challenging to keep it off, that they can't ever maintain. It's all of that sort of really, really negative language that I hear all of the time. So that's the area that we begin our change. So if you think about, as I said at the beginning, watch your thoughts, because your thoughts become your words. Watch your words, because your words become your actions. Watch your actions. Your actions become your habits. So the language that we're using, our unconscious mind takes as fact. So if we're saying we're not going to be able to do that, we won't, because we've already told ourselves that we won't be able to do it and that we're going to fail. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's really, really important that we're really careful about the language that we use. If you think about pop stars or sports performance, anyone that's performing, before they go out and do what they're going to do, whether they're going on stage or whether they're going out, to do their sports activity, they will be backstage, they will be in the locker room, they will be giving themselves that really motivational talk. They'll often have someone there going, we can do this, we can do, really geeing themselves up, so they really believe that they're going to do it, that they're going to smash it, that they can do it before they go out there, because that's the language they're using, that's what they're telling their unconscious mind. They're banishing any doubt. That's what we need to be thinking about and what we need to be noticing. I've got a few things here to be writing down. So if you think that we're conditioned to think that saying positive things about ourselves can maybe make us appear big-headed, that can make us maybe not seem such a likable person. If you think about, if you see somebody that's like, yeah, I'm really good at my job and I'm really good at it, you'll often see people roll their eyes, and because we don't generally do that, we don't say good things about ourselves. We tend to always downplay, and we tend to always hands up, this is me definitely, how many of us, if somebody says, oh, that's a nice top, that we'll go, oh, I got it in Primark. We don't just go, oh, thanks. It's always that, oh, it only cost this much, or I picked it up in a charity shop, or it's a really common thing for us to do, to be not accepting compliments very well, and certainly not using that sort of language when we talk about ourselves. So that's something to think about. So it's really about noticing the language that we use. So if you find that you are using that language, that I struggle, that I always put the weight back on again, or like I say, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So one of the things I'd like you to do now is start to notice that language that you're using and start writing it down. So every time you find that you're using a word like that's possibly negative, see what you could change that for that's the opposite. So for example, I've got some here. So instead of saying, or instead of talking about losing weight, that again, loss is quite a negative word in our vocabulary. So look, if you think about the loss of a loved one, I've lost my job, I've lost my keys. Generally, it's if we lose something, we want it back. We'll either be looking for another job, we'll be looking for our keys, we'll be grieving for a loved one. There's always that negative connotation to it. So we want to change that language. We don't want to talk about weight loss. We want to talk about what we're going to gain. So we want to talk about what it is that you are going to be working towards. You want to be really focusing on that. So instead of saying I've lost, you could use words instead like I have reduced, I have shed, I have dropped. It's much less triggering, or it really takes away that wanting to get it back again without realizing it's an unconscious thing. But it can really help to just change our mindset about what it is that we're doing. So again, make this list. So instead of using words like I'm starving, if you're in your mind, if you are using that sort of language, I'm starving, your unconscious mind is like must eat immediately, we must. So changing it to I need to eat something now. It really takes away that power from the language. So think about this and try it. So I could eat a horse. I could eat now. I will always be fat. I am changing my shape and size. I can't leave food or refuse it. I feel powerful when I leave food. I've heard people saying things like, I'm an out of control pig. I now know what to do and how to do it. I eat as much as a man. I have a normal selective appetite. So it's really thinking about these words that we use. As soon as we notice them, like I say, write them down, change them. So if you're talking about anything being a challenge, if you're talking about, but use this in every day, every in your day-to-day life. So if you just thinking about, notice this one. So I've got to go to work today. I get to go to work today. Completely different. It'll give you a completely different feeling. It attaches so much different meaning to it. So start using that in your day-to-day life, thinking about whenever you think about or talk about wanting to change your shape or your size or your weight, really think about the language that you're using around that. Start to flip that and you'll see a difference straight away.